and welcome to another episode of InfoScope. I'm your host, Hannah Kim. It's once again time for the latest from the IT and science world. Let's begin with a quick preview of a couple of our first stories. A group of Korean high school students won first place at an aerospace and aviation innovation competition. The students designed what they call the Sixth Sense helmet, which allows its users to sense touch in space. But before that, we have some updates about genetic modification. CRISPR is a technology that involves taking a pair of genetic scissors and snipping a gene. Previous technologies have had the side effects of unintentionally cutting functional portions when only damaged parts were targeted. And now Korean researchers have recently presented the effectiveness of a new DNA editing technology. Here are some more details on this story coming up next on Briefing Scope. Korean researchers became the first in the world to prove the precision of CRISPR-CPF1, a new DNA editing technology. Their research has raised hopes and expectations for new treatments for cancer and hereditary diseases. A space helmet designed by high school students from Korea's Hanguk Academy of Foreign Studies was one of the winners at the 2016 Conrad Spirit of Innovation Challenge. The students will receive support for patent application, market research, and commercialization, and further improve on the technology with international space companies. A black hole with a mass of anywhere between 1 million to 10 billion times that of the Sun was observed to grow by sucking in adjacent cold gas. Until now, black holes were assumed to suck in hot gas only, but this discovery has led scientists to theorize that cold gas helps black holes grow. Scientists have reported that the universe is expanding 5 to 9% faster than predicted. They say that dark energy or other factors may be behind the expansion and theorize that the universe may be younger than the estimated 13.8 billion years. I don't know about you, but space still seems like the unknown to me. No matter how much we explore, there's just so much more to discover. Now let's move over to ancient Egypt. Scientists have been interested in an iron dagger that did not rust inside the tomb of King Tut. How could the dagger not rust after all these years, and what is its relation to a meteorite? We'll find out in just a moment, but back here in present-day Korea, researchers have succeeded in digitally restoring the face of a woman from the unified Silla Dynasty some 1,500 years ago. They were able to create a three-dimensional model featuring the woman's skull, muscles, and skin. Let's take a look at how this 3D model differs from modern-day women in our next segment, Industry Inside.
This skull has been put together with numerous bone fragments. Adding muscle and skin results in the face of a woman whose remains were discovered in Gyeongju, Gyeongsangbuk-do province in 2013 and date back 1,500 years to the unified Silla Dynasty.
30대 후반에서 40대 초반으로 신장은 대퇴골의 그 최대 길이를 통해서 155cm 안팎의 아주 왜소하고 아담한 그런 체형의 여성분이었던 것으로 추정이 됩니다.
Researchers from 6 universities and institutions restored this woman's face over the past year and a half with digital technology. They first individually scanned the fragments with a CT scanner and completed a virtual skull with 3D modeling. The researchers then employed digital illustration to add muscle and skin to complete the face. This woman's head is 10% longer from front to back compared to the head of an average modern-day woman.
신라 시대의 부력 한 명이긴 하지만은 그때 당시에 살았던 분의 얼굴 모습을 머리뼈 형태 분석과 함께 우리가 직접 확인할 수 있었다, 볼 수 있었다, 재현할 수 있었다가 의의라고 얘기하고 싶습니다.
Moreover, the researchers found out through stable isotope analysis that this woman's diet was primarily made up of rice and potatoes, and that she rarely had meat. They explained that more time and research will be needed before this form of digital reconstruction can be made widely available. Tutankhamen became a pharaoh of ancient Egypt at the age of 9 in 1332 BC. However, he passed away at the age of 18, way before being able to fully wield power as a pharaoh. His tomb was discovered by chance in 1922, exposing ancient relics to the world. One of these goods was a dagger made of iron, and scientists and scholars were intrigued that even though it was forged during a time when iron working was rare, it had not rusted for the past 3,000 years. A team of Italian and Egyptian researchers decided to uncover the secret. An analysis of the dagger showed that the composition shared similarities with that of a meteor named Karga, located in the Red Sea.
이집트인들이 이제 철을 철광석에서 재련할 수 있는 그런 기술은 가지고 있지 않았고, 그 운석에서 발견되는 철을 재련을 해서 이제 사용했었다는 걸 추정해 볼 수 있습니다.
In the hieroglyphic language of ancient Egyptians, iron was called Ba'anpet, meaning metal of heaven. How this dagger was used still remains a mystery. Researchers believe that given the sacredness of iron, the dagger may have been used in a ceremony that involved the opening of a mummy's mouth for reincarnation. A fish is swimming in a water tank. Suddenly, two faces appear on a monitor and the fish spits a jet of water at one of them. Even after changing the images, the fish spits water at the same face. A team of scientists from the University of Oxford in the UK and the University of Queensland in Australia found that archerfish can recognize faces with a peak performance of at least 80%. It is very difficult for an animal to recognize a human face, so it has been assumed that only some primates with large and complex brains were capable of doing it. However, this experiment showed that fish, which has a simpler and smaller brain, can also recognize faces. The experiment is noteworthy as archerfish do not have a neocortex, the part of the brain that primates use for facial recognition.
구이 뇌기능에 의해서 얼굴 인식이 가능할 것이라고 믿어져 왔는데 반해서 뇌코텍스가 없는 피쉬에서도 얼굴 인식이 가능하다는 것은 피쉬에서는 최소한 고등 뇌기능이 없는 경우에도 얼굴 인식이 가능할 수 있다라는 것을 보여주는 연구 결과라고 할 수 있겠습니다.
The research and its results were published in the scientific journal Scientific Reports. These two babies are 15-month-old twins. One twin has asymmetrical legs due to being afflicted with a rare hereditary growth disorder called Russell-Silver syndrome. However, why is it that only one twin has a hereditary disease? In most cases, hereditary diseases arise when the offspring receives flawed genes from the parents. Based on this logic, if one twin has a hereditary illness, the other twin should also have the same illness. However, this is not the case. Scientists state that the twin with hereditary disorders has proper genes, but these genes are not able to function properly. In other words, environmental factors such as diet or smoking can affect protein synthesis, triggering a hereditary disorder despite having proper genes.
유전자 앞에는 조절 부위가 있고요. 그 조절 부위에 어떤 특정 화합물이 붙으면 발현이 안 되고 그놈이 떨어지면 발현되고 하는 그런 기전을 우리가 밝혀낸 것이죠.
Scientists also say that this could be why twins grow to different heights.
So in other words, even if twins may be identical, external factors may play a major role in their development. It also shows how no two people are alike. All right, now moving on to Take a Peek. Hearing impairments can either be genetic or arise later in a person's life. In the case of congenital hearing loss, the mutation of a certain protein was found to be the cause. But Korean researchers have found a way to potentially tackle the mutation. And in other medical news, how many of you wear contact lenses? Well, people usually wear contacts for their vision, but a new type of smart contact lens is capable of measuring blood sugar levels from a person's tears while administering the correct medication. How can this help patients with diabetes? Let's find out on Take a Peek.
The World Health Organization highlighted diabetes as a major health issue to tackle this year. There are more than 420 million diabetics worldwide, and a new patient is diagnosed every 2 seconds. Korea also has worrying numbers of diabetic patients.
우리나라 당뇨병 환자만 한 500만 명이 넘고 있으며 고위험군을 합하면 한 1,200만 명 정도로 추정하고 있습니다.
Diabetes cannot be completely cured and requires constant management. Subsequently, patients must prick their fingers every day to measure their blood sugar levels. In order to reduce their discomfort, Google and other foreign companies have come up with contact lenses that measure blood sugar levels through a person's tears. Now, Korean researchers have gone one step further and created a smart contact lens that not only measures blood sugar levels but also administers medications through the eye. Based on the blood sugar level measured by the sensor, a current passes through the medication storage. It melts the gold film surrounding the storage, releasing the medication inside. This smart contact lens can be used not only by diabetics but also people with eye disorders.
당뇨 치료 약물을 눈을 통해 전달할 수 있는 진단 및 치료용 스마트 렌즈는 저희가 세계 최초로 개발했다는데 큰 의미가 있다고 말씀드릴 수가 있습니다.
The technology verification stage is complete, and following clinical trials and practical research, the smart contact lens may be commercialized as early as 5 years from now. Composer Ludwig van Beethoven is playing with his ear close to the piano. Considered one of the greatest composers in history, Beethoven became engrossed in composition after he started losing his hearing from the age of 27. While deafness may arise after birth, there are also many cases of congenital deafness. It can disrupt a child's linguistic or behavioral development.
예, 현재까지 선천성 난청에 대한 궁극적인 치료 방법은 아직 없고요. 수술적 치료가 필요하고
When a protein called pendrin in the inner ear undergoes a mutation, this results in congenital deafness. The mutated protein is unable to function properly. Now, Korean researchers have found a different protein that can restore pendrin to its original state.
이 샤페론이라는 단백질을 활성화시키고 그 발현량을 증가시킬 수 있는 약제 개발할 수 있는 연구를 현재 진행하고 있습니다.
The research and results were published in the academic journal Nature Communications. There's a growing number of health cases caused by the so-called superbacteria that do not respond to any kind of antibiotics. Following the first ever report in China, superbacteria have been reported in Europe and the United States.
We risk being in a post-antibiotic world.
New antibiotics are needed to combat these bacteria, but there is a limit to the types of antibiotics that can be created today because more than 70% of all antibiotics are derived from streptomyces. There are about 30 components that can be used for antibiotics, but most can't be detected, so only 1 or 2 components are used. Subsequently, Korean researchers analyzed the genome of streptomyces and found that their structure makes it difficult to synthesize key proteins needed to create antibiotics. A complex molecular machine called the ribosome plays a key role in protein synthesis. However, the researchers found that these ribosomes were not able to function properly in streptomyces. If they could be made to function better, making it possible to develop a wider variety of antibiotics.
슈퍼박테리아를 치료하는 어떤 치료법이라든가 항생제가 거의 전무한데 광선균을 저희가 좀 유전자 조작을 해서 사람에게 유용한 항생제를 많이 만들 수 있는 그런 일을 할 수 있지 않을까.
The research and its results were published in the academic journal Nature Communications.
We just saw a lot of medical stories in the last part of our show, from contact lenses that can measure blood sugar levels to superbacteria. And of course, a possible cure for hearing loss at birth. It seems like science is moving another step forward every day, and I can't wait to hear more about how researchers all over the world are working to create new ways to diagnose and treat these diseases. Although this wraps up today's show, we'll be back next week with another fun and informative episode. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everyone.